David, does Bud have a chance against Canelo?
I think he does, bro. I think if anybody could beat Canelo, I think Bud, his IQ and his experience will definitely help him through. It's just that, you know what I mean? He's going up 2 other weight classes when he had just went up to 154.
Max Kellerman and Joe Rogan have made a startling prediction regarding Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez's super fight. Fans were taken aback by Kellerman's prognosis, which deviates from accepted wisdom. Renowned for his keen analysis and capacity to identify patterns that others overlook.
Stylistically, this is just my last follow. Do you think Canelo should be the favorite in the fight because he's bigger, or do you see he had trouble with Skull, his speed? Terence is going to throw a lot more, and he has that speed also.
Regardless of however the fight itself plays out, I feel like the betting, the betting people will probably have Canelo as a favorite.
The seasoned analyst explained why he thinks this battle has the potential to alter the traditions of both fighters and establish a new pound-for-pound king. Kellerman explained why this fight is so captivating, highlighting Canelo's superior strength and depth of knowledge.
Canelo or Crawford?
Canelo.
What do you think is the most significant part of that matchup in Canelo versus Crawford?
That he's comfortable at 168, that he's been fighting there. He went and collected all the belts at that weight class. Crawford, of course, Crawford has a chance. He has a big chance, being one of the pound-for-pound fighters of the world. But it's just the advantage of being there first. You know what to expect in that weight class. Crawford's coming off a 154 fight that he fought last year. So I really don't consider him even a 154. He's been fighting at 147 for a while. He had that one fight at 154. And then he stopped fighting for a year again. So, of course he's probably been training, again, high-class fighter. But to be comfortable at 168, you're going to have to do some fights in there. And going in there fighting the undisputed champion, it's going to take
against the sport's top players. However, he abruptly changed the subject to one that astounded a lot of people: Crawford's ring IQ and flexibility. Kellerman thinks that even though Canelo has dominated recently, Crawford may have the advantage due to his capacity to change tactics in the middle of the bout and methodically take down opponents.
It doesn't matter what the betting odds say, though. You know what I'm saying? I've been the underdog a couple times. Jose Uzcategui was the underdog. That's how I became world champion. So, odds only mean so much. Once the bell rings, the fighters get to figure it out.
Do you think Canelo wins, or do you think Terence wins? This is my last one.
Can't say. Can't say, don't know. I'm just as a fan, excited to see the fight, and from the boxing knowledge that I have, which I feel like is decent, I think it's going to be a real good fight.
On September 13th, 2025, Kellerman will make a high-profile comeback to boxing analysis as a member of Netflix's broadcast crew for the Canelo versus Crawford bout. This is his first significant on-air boxing gig since ESPN fired him in 2023. Alongside John and Nick and Andre Ward, Kellerman will provide bout analysis, contributing his decades of experience and distinctive perspective to what is expected to be one of the year's most viewed boxing spectacles.
Bueno, es una pelea muy dispareja, la verdad. Crawford es un gran peleador, pero no tiene nada que hacer en ese peso. Con todo respeto, él va por el dinero y Canelo lo va a noquear.
The two fighters are going to be different weight classes, even though they're going to fight on a specific weight. He believes that they're just going because of the money, Crawford, but probably Canelo is going to.
Kellerman called this bout a perfect storm when he announced his return to the Netflix broadcast crew for the Canelo versus Crawford bout, and made it clear that Crawford presently possesses the pound-for-pound title more so than Canelo. Crawford was ranked the top P4P at the moment by him, pointing out that Canelo Alvarez was the previous holder of such distinction prior to Bud's ascent.
Terence got to be Terence, bro. He's a real deep thinker. He processed fights like nobody else. And he's processed this Canelo fight. He's seen it. He went through it 2 or 3 times already. He knows how this ends. You can tell the way he shadow boxes. He visualizing Canelo being right there in front of him. You understand? Look at the movement. That's all you got to do. Look at the movement. And that's the type of master boxer that Canelo is going to be facing. And the only thing I say is Canelo hasn't faced an opponent like this in a long time. You know what I mean? I think Canelo's going to have to go back to the Caleb Plant fight and look that good, that active, that, you feel me, moving with that type of grace to beat Terence Crawford. Because weight ain't going to make the difference. It ain't going to be the weight. It's going to be the skill set.
Additionally, Joe Rogan has stated unequivocally that he leans toward Crawford. He admits that Crawford has an advantage against Canelo because of his exceptional adaptability and ring acumen. According to Rogan, Canelo has slowed down and changed from being a dynamic combo fighter to depending more on strong single strikes. On the other hand, he believes Crawford is a remarkable player who can transition between orthodox and southpaw with ease and remain efficient in either position.
Well, all I know is that if you were in the Canelo Crawford card, that card would be a million times. It's still an amazing card, but you would have added a lot. Who wins, Canelo or Crawford?
I think it's gonna be a good fight, man. I'm going for Canelo, of course. You know, he's the Mexican warrior as well. And for Crawford, man, you can't neglect him or you can't underestimate him as well. You know, he has a lot of skills, a lot of movement. He's a lefty as well. That's what Canelo has trouble with. I think it's gonna be an amazing fight, man. I just can't wait, and the best man wins.
Making him one of the most versatile switch hitters since Marvin Hagler. Rogan and Lampley discuss Crawford's chances versus Canelo from opposing viewpoints on a recent episode of the Joe Rogan Experience. Rogan tilts in Crawford's direction, highlighting his accuracy, ring smarts, and enhanced body following substantial bulk up, all of which he feels might offer Crawford a genuine chance to outbox Alvarez.
To have a guy come up from 140 pounds in such a short period of time, I'm not saying he couldn't have done it. If he'd have taken 3 or 4 years like Canelo did and built up his, not only his strength but his bulk in the correct way, he would have had a better chance. But to do it in these 14, 15.
Lampley, meanwhile, presents a more complex perspective. Although he respects Crawford's technique and sees him as a contemporary Sugar Ray Robinson, he ultimately declares his faith in Canelo's strength, counterpunching, and renownedly strong chin, cautioning that Canelo's lower body might negate Crawford's attack in the present.
I'm going with Terence Crawford. You know, big weight jump, a dangerous fight, but somebody's got to prove to me that they can break Terence Crawford's will and that he can't figure it out against you. You know, it ain't no disrespect toward Canelo, but I've said this the last couple of years. I'm not betting against Terence Crawford against nobody right now. You got to show me that you can.
In a different interview, Lampley boldly predicted that Canelo would defeat Crawford, stating that Canelo's size, experience, and championship background gave him the edge even if Crawford is an incredible boxer. Although Lampley considers Crawford to be the greatest complete boxer of our time, he thinks that experience and weight will determine the outcome of this bout. He contends that Canelo, who is used to high-stakes fights and is inherently stronger at 168 pounds, has the physical prowess to counteract Crawford's versatility and adaptability, shifting the odds in his favor.
It's a very interesting 50-50 fight. He feels that Canelo's very strong right now. He wants to figure out to see how Crawford's going to handle the power, especially in the early rounds, and what's going to happen. So yeah, he said he remembers fighting Canelo back 14 years ago it is now, and he said he remembers he used his legs real good, and as long as Crawford uses his legs and he doesn't let Canelo just hit him in the arms and beat him up in the arms, he has a very good chance.
Much while Canelo Alvarez is unquestionably great, legendary analyst Teddy Atlas thinks Terence Crawford is much more remarkable. He is unwilling to wager against him because of this. Crawford's exceptional blend of speed, flexibility, defensive angles, and mental toughness is acknowledged by Atlas as a game changer.
He might be even stronger than Canelo. He might pack the weight on well. He might do really well in there. So look,
you fought them both. Like, what are the differences between them? Obviously, it's weight.
Canelo's stronger and is easily hit. Very easily hit, very easily. Yeah. Compared to when I fought against Crawford, I couldn't hit clean. Yeah. So really, that's the difference. And they both hit hard. Yeah. Because and you can see the strength. You know, when I was fighting against Crawford, I didn't think Crawford was that strong, but when he kind of moved me around a little bit, he is very strong as well. So look, yeah. But why does he need to give that much weight? He's pound for pound #1 in the world. Why does he have to go up and fight Canelo?
According to Stephen A. Smith, Crawford will defeat Canelo via decision. He praised Canelo's talent and power in an interview with the All the Smoke Fight podcast, but he thinks Crawford will have the advantage due to his quickness, movement, and technical boxing, especially his ability to change stances. Smith emphasized that Canelo's dependence on forceful blows might prove to be his undoing, saying, "If you can box and you can move, you can beat Canelo," despite pointing out Crawford's lack of acclimatization at 168 pounds. He was still certain that skill, not strength, would win out.
I think that Crawford has the ability to outbox Canelo. You gotta look at it. And then Canelo's older. Crawford has the ability, but he's small, and he can look bigger Crawford could look bigger in the weigh-ins and all that stuff, but it's always a difference. When you get that fight with somebody, you can tell. Same thing with Jamel. Jamel fought him, the twin. He fought Crawford, and in all the stuff, the weigh-ins and the press conference, Jamel looked like the bigger man. His head, his neck, everything looked bigger. But when they got in the fight, you can tell. You can see who really was the bigger man. And I think that's the same thing. Crawford is putting on weight, but it's not weight like Canelo had the weight already. He doesn't have to put on muscle. He doesn't have to do that. He's already big like that. But I think that Crawford does have the style. He does have the style to beat him. If you look at the people that beat him or gave trouble, Irislan De Lara, Austin Trout, Floyd, and Bivol. They gave him trouble and stuff like that. And Skull moved around a little bit too. So I think that Crawford has that. But I don't know how Crawford is going to respond when he gets hit. Same thing with Jamel. Jamel was undisputed at 154, and Canelo hit him and shit. Jamel was like, hell no. Jamel took a knee. So it's a big difference. And Crawford had that one fight at 154, and he didn't. Madrimov would touch him up a little bit. And this is nowhere close to Madrimov. You talk about Canelo. Now, if it was just another bigger guy, I would go with Crawford. But you talk about great. This might be. People might kill me for it, but well, not really. But this might be the best Mexican.
After a 14-pound jump from 154 to 168, Crawford's astounding makeover ahead of his fight with Canelo has shocked the boxing community. Crawford now has a notably more muscular, slimmer, and unervingly strong appearance.
Fight that he can fight, the only correct fight that he can fight, he does have a chance, and I think he could be victorious. If he doesn't fight the one way that he can only fight to win it, Terence Crawford has 6 ways he can win it. And my money will go on a man who has 6 ways to win it.
So you think Canelo has to kind of fight? Let's talk about the weight a little bit, right? Because we all know everything you accomplished as a heavyweight.
Juan Manuel Marquez has stated quite plainly that he dislikes the Canelo versus Crawford matchup and is still adamantly unconvinced. Marquez contends that there is a purpose to the weight categories in boxing and that Crawford's attempt to go from 154 to 168 pounds is illogical. Who do you think will prevail? Is it Crawford's boxing intelligence or Canelo's natural strength? Leave your choice in the space provided here.